Hello, my name is Shawn Buckley, and I'm with the Natural Health Product Protection Association. And so I can't wipe the grin off my face because we're doing a series of videos on this manufactured consent episode that we're so clearly in. And frankly, I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the topic. I'm enjoying the videos. And this video is video 5, which is pointing out that when we reach the point in this manufactured consent exercise when we're eating cloned meat without labeling. If you watch the previous videos, you'll understand the predetermined plan is clearly for us to just start eating cloned meat with strict labeling. They knew well in advance the only way to get us eating it would be with strict labeling, but they actually had to decoy us to the labeling issue by saying, well, they're going to allow it without labeling. And we've all been focused there and not actually asking the real question, well, should we be eating it at all? And that's for other videos. You'll be shocked by all of that and the explanation of what manufactured consent is. But so they knew that to get us eating it, it was going to be strictly labeled. And they would get us there eating it strictly labeled by saying, well, we're going to do it without labeling. We're all focusing on labeling. Not a single mainstream media is asking, should we be doing it at all? We're ignoring all the evidence why we shouldn't, ignoring that it's banned in the EU and all of that. So, and we explain, the plan. So the plan will be for them, they'll come back, Health Canada will come back and say, and there'll be a pause. They'll wait till the political heat's off. They're very savvy that way. And they plan long term. And again, their goal is to have us eating raw meat without labeling. And we'll explain in later videos, well, why is that? Why are they having us eat cloned meat without labeling? What's the end goal? And we've explained in previous videos how it doesn't make economic sense. Like aside from the fact no one wants to eat cloned meat. It's way more expensive to get cloned meat into the food supply. Way more problematic, way more expensive. It makes no sense at all. There's no, even if it was safe and equivalent, which, when you watch all these videos, we're asking you to make up your own mind, but we know you're going to conclude, no way, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But even if it was, there's no advantage. So the fact that, it's super expensive to do it, there's serious animal welfare issues, all of that, like everything suggests this is just madness. Why is it even an issue? Well, we'll explain that in other videos where they're going, but we have explained in previous videos up till now. So the goal is to get you eating cloned meat without labeling. We haven't told you why. We've just teased you with words like biopharmaceutical and genetic modification. But they want to get you eating cloned meat without labeling. They know that they first have to introduce it with labeling. They know that if they just said we were going to introduce it with labeling, you would say, no way, because then the issue would be, well, should we be eating it at all? You're happy that if you're eating it, there's going to be labeling. That's not an issue anymore. So they've made that the only issue by saying, oh, we're going to introduce it without labeling. We're all focused on that issue. The mainstream media has avoided every issue. Watch video 4 in this where we outline all of the things that aren't being mentioned, which makes it really clear evidence we're in a manufactured consent thing. I want to talk about how they're going to make eating cloned meat mandatory. So the goal is, let's introduce it with labeling, and we'll accept that because we go, oh my gosh, we won. First time ever any of us can remember where the government listened. We said we wanted, there's no way we wanted to eat cloned meat without labeling. They'll come back and say, we're going to require super strict labeling. Like, we're taking care of you guys. We'll go, oh, we won. Finally, we won. We've never actually discussed whether we should allow it in the first place. And now we're eating cloned meat with labeling. And a year goes by. And a couple of years go by. 2 or 3 years, maybe 4. And then Health Canada will drop the labeling requirement. Now, at that point, it's been in our food supply for years. In fact, you've gotten comfortable about it. You've stopped asking at the restaurant, when you are ordering that hamburger, is there cloned meat in here? It's become a non-issue for you. Sure, you're not buying cloned meat at the grocery store, but you don't know what you're eating in the restaurant. You don't know what you're eating with friends, and it's no longer an emotionally charged issue. And you're certainly not asking the real question, should you be eating it at all? Should anyone be eating it? For human safety reasons, for animal suffering issues, whatever they are, we're not there, so they'll drop it. So now we're eating cloned meat without labeling. And the messaging will be really easy for Health Canada. Because once we're eating it with labeling, they for sure will not have set up any mechanism to look for health issues caused by eating cloned meat. So there'll be no safety signals. So what they'll say is, well, it's been in the food supply for, 3 or 4 years. There's been no evidence of safety. So it seems we were right when we said years ago, no, it's safe. And we required labeling out of an abundance of caution, but it's clearly not necessary. It's completely inefficient. It's not fair to the businesses. It causes problems. It literally, I mean, they'll turn it around and say things even like it causes consumer confusion because it's all equivalent anyway. And now the consumer's thinking it's not equivalent and that's not fair and it's not helpful and they'll drop it. And even if you personally are concerned and you don't want to eat cloned meat, it doesn't matter. There won't be the political will. It won't be a big issue anymore. How can it be? Because the door's been wedged open. And now it's just being opened a little wider. Like, who cares? The door's already open, right? I need you to understand, once we reach that point, that from a legal philosophical perspective, something really significant will have happened. And that is at that point, when they drop the labeling in the future, the labeling requirement, eating cloned meat will become mandatory. It's almost like they've passed a law saying you must eat cloned meat. And this is how this works, is, people like me at that point for sure will want to continue to not eat cloned meat. For sure. But if I can't know when I go to a restaurant whether that steak I'm eating is cloned or not, and if I can't know if, the meat I'm buying in the grocery store is cloned or not, as careful as I may be, I'm going to be eating cloned meat and you are going to be eating cloned meat. It's actually the absence of labeling that forces you to do that. We can say the same about, genetically modified plants that have been in our food supply for a long time, or genetically modified salmon. I mean, restaurants didn't tell you that they were genetically modified salmon to grow quickly. There wasn't any notice or labeling. And without notice or labeling, it's involuntary unless you're going to become a vegetarian. So the purpose of this video is just to help you understand, or to get you thinking about the fact that when the government is introducing things into the food supply without labeling, whether you support it or don't support it, unless you're able to avoid that food group altogether, and very few of us, are willing or able to avoid meat, it's literally akin to saying it's mandatory. It's literally akin to passing a law saying you must eat cloned meat. You might say, that's not terribly important. There's, even if we accept that it's not really safe and there's going to be some minor health concerns, you're willing to live with it. Well, you're going to have to watch the other videos that follow that explain, okay, wait a second, what's the real agenda here? And I'm going to save that for other videos, but I will tease you. I've already said biopharmaceutical and genetic modification. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked, and this is a concern. And we have to band together and stop this. So watch the other videos. We're going to enjoy doing them on this end, and hopefully you're going to enjoy watching them. But you need to learn.